Hey guys, this is Dave Trevor. This lesson is entitled Control. So getting right into it, what does it mean as far as singing goes? It means everything. I'll get more to that in a minute. And why is it important? Because it means everything. There's some fine points, so I'm going to break them down now. How does it relate to power? When you have proper control, power is not an issue. Basically, power is irrelevant. If you have the proper breathing control, because that's what we're talking about here in today's lesson, you can have as much or as little power as you want when you're performing, whether it's singing for friends, singing in the shower, you might be able to knock the tiles off the walls, which would be kind of funny. Whatever style or whatever thing that you're going for, power becomes irrelevant if you have the proper control. So there you go. How does it relate to longevity? When you have your power in, you can last as long as you possibly want to, because you can learn to pull from other areas of your body. You can actually learn to pull from your legs. You can pull from your back. You can pull from your glutes. You can pull from your sides. You can pull from your chest. You can pull all these different areas that will help sustain the breath control so that you can last as long as you want. The perfect example of this is look at Broadway musicians. You wonder how they're able to be like, there's no business like showbiz, and walk around and run around and all that sort of stuff. It's because they have proper breathing control. How does it relate to style? Well, the coolest thing about it is that if you have your controlling, you can do any style that your heart desires. Whether it's jazz, like, I'm going down to Mississippi, I was the one. I mean, that's kind of loungy, but, that's actually more like crooner, but jazz would be something more like, hey, girl, taking down the line, yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's more like jazz. If you wanted to do rock music. I'm just making these songs up, okay? So, bear with me. Ooh, yeah, good man, on, take it down, take it down. See what I did there? You could do it so it's more like R&B. Ooh, girl, yeah, now I'm gonna take it with me now. Ooh. See what I'm doing there? That's all control. That's all I'm doing. It's proper breath control. This is staying loose. This is staying tight. I'll get into more of that in a little bit in a minute. So here's the data that most people, even professional musicians who are out there making lots and lots and lots of money, whether it's $100,000 or millions of dollars, that they don't even know. It's kind of shocking, especially from me being a singer, to see this out there. But this information is only given to the few. This information is given to people that want to perform on Broadway. At least that's what I found. I did musical theater when I was in college, and I went to a program where it was very, very select. It was a very select program, but some of the tools that I learned from it are stuff that the people on Broadway are using because they want to prepare you. They want to make sure that you really, really understand that. And as you can see, I'm not on Broadway. I'm in my bedroom. But the point I want to make is that this is some really cool data. So here we go. Okay, so here it is. Control can make or break you. And what I mean by that is that control is everything. Control can do some interesting things to your voice. It can give you some really harsh side effects like scratchiness in the throat, so to the point that when you sing, you hear a scratchiness that you cannot get rid of. You just can't. You can't get rid of it. You have having your range. By that I mean cutting in half the whole range that you sing. So you might sing like a 3-octave range, and now you sing a 1.5 octave range. Yeah, it is that bad. You can have a weak and powerless sound. So basically, you can't sing very well. You have to be that close to the microphone, for anything to come out I don't think I would want that, even if I was an amateur singer, even if I was a lounge singer, I wouldn't want that because it's got to probably hurt even to perform. You can have pitch problems, you can have shortness of breath, you can have all these sorts of things. Now, all these things, they can be remedied. They can totally be excuse me. They can be fixed. They can be fixed by proper breathing technique, by proper lubrication with lots of water, maybe some tea with a little bit of lemon and honey. That's all great. But I'm going to show you a visual demo of what this breathing thing looks like, okay? So, Let's do 303 because that was a pretty good example. Now, I should be able to go like this with my throat and my neck to prove to the point that this is proper breathing, okay? Now watch. She wants to love me, woo. She wants to touch me, woo. She'll never leave me, woo. So, see the fact that I was able to do that and there was no tension? You never want to see this, guys. You see this? You don't want to see this. But you will. You'll see it with performers. You'll see it with people making lots of money, and you'll see it on the local band scene. And, now you can kindly go up to him and be like, hey, you should watch this guy on YouTube. His name's Dave Trevor. I'm just kidding. You can if you want. That'd be great, It mean a lot to me. Okay, moving on. Let's see here. So, like I was saying, all these things, those are minor elements that you can kind of fix with proper technique and this and that and the other. But the worst is these things called vocal nodes. They're scary. What they are is they're calluses that have formed on the vocal cords, and there's only a couple ways to cure them. One is vocal therapy, and the other is surgery. That's it. And with vocal therapy, what you've got is don't sing for extended long periods, and sometimes that means up to 2 months. And if you're a singer, that is murder, because that's a singer's worst nightmare, because as a singer myself, I sing at work, I sing in the shower, I sing when I'm driving to wherever I'm going, I sing everywhere, and I try to sing as much as I can. I don't get crazy with it, I don't sing instead of talk, but if it's really your passion and you really love it and you can't do it, no matter where you are, whether you're a professional or an amateur or just enjoy it as a hobby, it sucks when you can't sing. I've never run into that, but I've seen people who have, so there you go. There's an interesting example. Chester Bennington, I think that's how you pronounce the last name, he's the lead singer of Linkin Park. A couple years ago, he had to stop his tour because he got vocal nodes, and it's a real frustrating thing, especially if you're a fan of that band, because he had to cut the tour short. And it's also not fair to him as an artist because he's missing out on performing and, making more money and doing what he loves. And it's because of improper breathing control. Control. That's what we're talking about here, guys. We're talking about breathing control. So I hope I made that point clear enough for you. So yeah, improper control is too much force on the vocal cords and vocal tension. So there you guys have it. One last thing too is Avenged Sevenfold, the lead singer of Avenged Sevenfold, he actually had some vocal nodes, and the problem is that if you listen to his earlier CDs, he was able to do all these amazing things screaming-wise, but there's some interesting techniques I've learned about screaming that actually don't affect the voice. But he didn't do those, probably because he didn't have a vocal coach, and now he rarely screams on his newer stuff, from what I've found, which is kind of amazing because it just took a lot of his talent, and now he is very limited. So, because I think they're an amazing band, and they still are a pretty good band, but he did get vocal nodes, and the only way he took care of it was to do the following. Like I said, he took the therapy, and he also got some surgery, and now his voice is just not quite the same. So there you go. Question of the week. This is from Apticon. He's one of my subscribers. He wanted to know about vibrato. He said, what do you have to do to get it? I know people say it comes naturally, but what did you do in order to get it? I'm trying to practice, but it doesn't help if I'm practicing correctly. Thanks. Well, thank you for the question, man. I really appreciate it. And, I really appreciate you watching and subscribing, so thank you. Well, what I did is that I had to practice. I had to have real discipline. And you have to have discipline in order to get it. When I was in high school, I started taking private voice lessons my freshman year, and I basically sang straight 7 days a week pretty much until my senior year. I didn't get my vibrato until I was a junior in high school, and I had a discipline that every time I'd go home, I'd sing for an hour. And I was practicing musical theater at the time, and I would sing my musical theater songs that I got from my private voice teacher, and I did it, and I disciplined myself, and I went through it, and sometimes I didn't want to do it, guys, and sometimes I hated it, and sometimes I was like, I'm just not in the mood to sing, and sometimes I didn't even feel good. So but I did. I always sung every single day for 3.5 years. So that's something to keep in mind. And you just have to have the discipline. And the other thing, guys, is don't force it. Just don't force it, because you don't want to be singing and it's like all that crap that you hear out there on the radio. Lots of that stuff's not a real vibrato. It's just not. I'm pointing it out to you right now. If most of those musicians were not in the studio, the sound would not even be close to what that is. And it's because they're not natural vibratos, you know. I don't consider a lot of them really singers. I consider them entertainers. And there's nothing wrong with entertainers, but I think I'm a singer, and I know I'm also an entertainer. So, you know, I'm trying to teach you guys to possibly have the both, because if you have both, man, you've got the wham and the bam. So there you have it. So yeah, don't force it. Don't push it. Let it come naturally. And I'm not saying you will get a vibrato, but I'm saying that this is what I was taught, and it worked for me. It should work for you. So there you have it. After the New Year's, guys, I'm going to be starting up a new segment in addition to singing tips, and I'm really excited about it because I just am. It's going to be really cool. But singing tips is not leaving. I'm still going to be doing my singing tips, and they're still going to be happening every single week, just like they are. And I think I'm shooting to doing this on a Wednesdays, so keep that in mind, and so you're going to have to just stay tuned and check back often. So there you go. Also, if you guys would like your question answered, leave one in the comment section below or on my channel page right here. And the next lesson I'm going to be talking about power and the thing that most singers forget about it. So that will be really cool. So go ahead and check that out. That should be next week. Also, if you guys like what you see, comment, rate, and subscribe. And feel free, subscribe. Big yellow button up top, big yellow button up bottom. And I also want to say happy holidays to you guys. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever other politically correct holiday you guys celebrate. And yeah, so have a great holiday, and I will talk to you guys later. Take care.